Welcome to our presentation on how to sync ACT and the Outlook Exchange calendar. This demonstration will show how to sync a single user with the Outlook and Exchange calendars. We will create, modify, and delete calendar items. After we've done that, we will synchronize multiple users that are set up in 123Sync with multiple Exchange calendar folders. We do that using the Outlook interface for better graphical representation. We will set up the Outlook Exchange calendars. We will do a multi-user scheduling so we can show how all the users interact with each other. And also we will do multi-user calendar item synchronization. So let's just look at our testing environment. Here on our ACT database, we can see we have set up 3 users. We have Tom Last Tom that we have as username Tom, and Tom2 and Tom3. These 3 users basically are native users in ACT, and they can schedule activities for each other. For the single user, we're going to use the Tom username. So for Outlook, we have set up 3 independent folders that are not together. So we can go to the contacts are empty and our calendar is empty. So what we're going to do now is take the 3 users in ACT and then synchronize them with the 3 users in Outlook. On this single user, we're going to be synchronized with Tom1, and then after that we'll do the multi-user. So let's get now to 123Sync and select the folders. Here's the Tom1 folder. We select the contacts. So we're going to put the contacts there. Then let's just select the calendar. Calendar, we put it to there. So now we put in contacts and calendar. So we go to the contacts filter. We want to sync all the contacts. We want to generate the contact body tags. On the activities, we set it to generate all the activities and basically to tag the activities as we go. Also, we want to generate the contact details, notes, and history for activities that are single, that are scheduled with only one user, and that will make it over to the Outlook folder. And that's about it. We want also to enable, and we did that when we opened the database, we want to enable full two-way sync. So all these options are checked. So now we have full two-way sync between ACT and Outlook. So now we've already set up Tom to be synced. And if it's check marked, that means that it will be picked up by the sync to synchronize. If it's not check marked, it's ignored when you press on the sync. So initially we do a manual sync. So we click on sync and just click on Tom Last Tom, and we'll do a full sync between ACT and Outlook and Exchange. So you can see that he does all the contacts and did it very quickly because we have few contacts for the testing, but in real world that could also happen. So before we start doing the testing, so we don't have to go back to the user interface of 123Sync, we're gonna create a shortcut. So to create a shortcut, just go to this C, or where you have all the software installed. Go to Program Files. Click on the 123Sync 2012 folder, and you'll find these executables called 123Sync 2012 server and then version number. We're running version 14.1, so we're gonna click on that, and then we're gonna create a shortcut. So just create a shortcut and then just move it to your desktop. So now we have the desktop, which is gonna be a shortcut to 123Sync. So now that we have created a shortcut, let's go and edit a few things on the shortcut. Let's go to properties on the shortcut. We have it there, and then we're gonna just call it, that's the name of it, and then we're gonna add a parameter -i that means interactive, and then minus P for no prompts. So we just see the status window, and it runs and it just tells it's finished, but it doesn't prompt us whether we want to sync or anything like that. It's really the closest you can get into background processing without the prompting. It just shows you the status, and then you say okay, and then it just closes the window, but all the actions are done automatically. Click on apply and you're now done. So just to finalize, let's click on our shortcut. Let's just rename this, just call it 123sync. And then we just take the shortcut and we'll just move it to the corner, right on the right hand corner, so when we click on it, it's easy to find. There. So now we're all set to do our testing environment. So in order to sync, we just double click on here, and 123sync will sync. It will just tell us. We can actually look and see what happens if we get any errors, anything like that, and we just close it. So now it's synced. In the background, you wouldn't get this prompt, but it will just disappear. So we just set it up with the interactive and the minus P, so you can actually get the prompt. So let's go back to Act now. We're now My Record, and let's just go to the calendar. On the calendar, let's just go for May 2nd. We just schedule an activity at 11 o'clock on May 2nd. Click Schedule, click a meeting. This is a meeting May 2nd with Tom. Click OK. So now it's scheduled for May 2nd. So we just go into 123sync, click on 123sync, it runs, and then it's completed, and then we can go back to Outlook and then just look at the calendar, and here we have. One other thing about the calendar, you will see it will have the contact details in there and all the notes and history of the particular contact. So we're basically now transferred from Act to Outlook. So we go in here and we just say, okay, we want to meet with Tom, and then we just know I don't like the subject line, and I said let's just modify that. Subject modified. And then also we just want to add details. So anything above that goes into the activity details in Act. Details here, go to Act. Yeehaw. Hey, something like that. So we just say that. So we go into 123sync. So we've modified Outlook. Click on 123sync. And we'll go to Act. And here we just click on the F5, or just go to View, Refresh. And you can see here it's already changed. So if you go into subject line, the subject has been modified, which is what we did. That's what we wrote here. Subject has been modified, right? So by doing that, so now we transferred any modifications from Outlook over to Act, and we also brought over the details from Outlook into Act. Having done that, so we take into Act and we say, okay, we've got to take this activity and then let's just move it down and see what happens. So we just moved with the cursor, and let's go to 123sync and sync, and it's synced. So we go to Outlook. So now instead of being 11, it's at noon. So we gotta look, what time is it? It's 12:30. So this is 12:30 here, and it's 12:30 in Outlook. So in Outlook, let's just close Outlook and open it again. Click on Outlook again, and that will start Outlook. So we can go back and look at the calendars, and if we click here, it's at 12:30, and there it is. So we can also decide, okay, we can actually move the calendar appointment into 9 o'clock in Outlook. So getting into 123 Sync, you just click 123 Sync, and now it finds out it's been changed in Outlook. So you go to Act, go F5, and there it is. So changing updates and modifications are fully synced by the 123 synchronizer. And when running in the background, this is fully supported. So then let's just go to Outlook, and then on Friday, just create a meeting here and say test meeting on Friday. And then if you click on 123 Sync, and now you have a new meeting in Outlook. The meeting has been synchronized. If you go F5, there it is. So whether you create an Act on Outlook, they're fully synchronized. And of course, if you go in Outlook and you delete the meeting, just click here, and then now that's been deleted. Okay, now it's been deleted, so we just click on 123 Sync, and it will sync, and most likely and definitely it will delete it. So full deletions are fully supported. So if you delete in an Act, we'll go to erase. We just erase it in Act, and then just do 123 Sync. We'll go back into Outlook, and it's erased in Outlook. One two three Sync supports all recurring activities modifications between Act and Outlook. So if you add, create, delete, modify in Act, it's supported in Outlook. From Outlook to Act, everything is supported except if you do any modifications to the dates, details, and so on within the activity. A single instance clearing deletion of recurring activities from Outlook to Act is supported, as well as the creation of new ones. So the only thing that is not supported today is when you modify a recurring activity, change the time, or move it to another day. That is not supported to go from Outlook to Act. All those functions have to be done in Act. So let's play with the recurring events in Act and Outlook. It's one of the challenging and interesting features of 123 Sync. So let's go to Act for the March 5th, and let's just create a meeting. Let's just make it a recurring event from Act. Let's just call it daily recurrence into infinity. So let's just do that, and this is an Act at 9 o'clock in the morning. So let's just go into Outlook at 11 on March 5th. We just new recurring appointment. Let's make it a daily for half an hour, and then we just call it new recurring appointment in Outlook. So in Outlook you're going to have it at 11 o'clock, and then in Act you're going to have it 9 o'clock. So we have two sets of recurring appointments. We go to 123 Sync, double click on that, it will run, and let's see what we have. So the recurring event from Act, we open the series, and that's the one from Act, and that's in Outlook now. And if you go into Act, the recurring event exists in Act. So this is the recurring event from Outlook, and this is the recurring event that was originally created in Act. So what we do is we can go in here, and what we're trying to show now is that we support the individual clearing or deletion of activities within the recurring event. So in Act, we can go in here and say, okay, I want to just erase this one, just erase this singular recurrence, I'm going to act and erase this one here. So we never had these singular recurrence. So we can go into Outlook the same way. We can just go in here for the Outlook meeting. We said, okay, we'll just delete this particular occurrence and delete this particular occurrence over here. So what we have now is a set of two recurring activities in which clearing and deletions have happened in the activities themselves. So if you click 1, 2, 3 sync, what we want to see is that these activities that have been cleared and deleted will actually sync. So let's have a look. If we go F5, we'll see that these have been synced from Outlook, and they have been synced from Act. So the point we're trying to make here now, we have full support of recurring activity, individual item clearing or deletion in Act and in Outlook. So we can go into Act and we say, okay, we're going to move this recurring activity over to 730, and we do all the occurrences. So these occurrences go to 730. Same way, we just click on the sync, and let's look in Outlook, and we should get 730 here. There they are, all at 730. Now if you move these in Outlook, they will not sync back into Act because the Act has a bug that will create duplicates, so we don't support that. But we support all the clearing and the full deletion of the series. So if you go in here and click deletion of the full series of recurring events and then just run a 1, 2, 3 sync, it will delete the whole series from Act. Let's go into Act, click F5 to see what we have, and the whole series is deleted. Well, so if that's not impressive, I would say is really impressive to do this kind of synchronization between Act and Outlook. So we're going to take it one step further, which is something that we do support as well. Let's look at the Wednesday recurring activity, and what we're going to do, what we're trying to show now is the modification of an individual recurring activity in Act. What Act does, it creates a singular activity, and we actually simulate that with Outlook. So let's just go into this activity, just open it, and we just call it 111, or just something just to change it. And Act says, do you want to edit everything? We just want to edit this particular recurrence. So what we now have is a singular occurrence with the recurring activities here and with single one there. It would be nice to have this sync into Outlook. So let's just see if it syncs. So let's sync and click on that. And let's just check in at what we get in Outlook. Well, guess what? Here it is. Here is the activity in Outlook. So we support individual modifications to recurring activities the same way that Act does, from Act over to Outlook. Well, now we're getting excited here. So let's just push this puppy a little bit further. Here we got Act and we got Outlook. So let's go to Outlook now. Let's see if we modify an individual activity, what happens to Act. Not the whole series, just a modification of an individual activity. So in Outlook, you do that by opening the occurrence, and you say, whoa, okay, let's just call it, this is recurring event EV, let's call it 222s. So now we've modified this on an individual activity in Outlook. So that changes that in Outlook, and let's see how 1, 2, 3 sync will actually deal with such an event. So let's just run 1, 2, 3 sync, and let's look at Act. Well, guess what? The individual recurring activity actually syncs back into Act. So individual recurring activities can be modified in Outlook, and those will actually sync back into Act at the next sync, and we can see here, and it's all in Outlook. So we have a full individual recurring activity sync, or individual instances of modifications of the recurring activities that will actually sync. The only thing we will not bring over from Outlook to Act is a modification to the series that will actually cause duplication in Act. Yes, I hear your applause, but don't leave yet. We're getting to the multi-user part of our software, and we really think you will enjoy this. This marks the end of part 1 of synchronizing an individual user to an Outlook folder. We have covered everything from single activities to recurring activities that are supported by 123 Sync. There's a lot of other features in the synchronization of 123 Sync, but we highly recommend, if you're in a multi-user environment, that you go through part 2 on how to synchronize calendar with Act and Exchange.